Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing tonight? I hope y'all can hear me. I hope y'all can tune in. Excuse any noise in the background, video games, dogs barking, anything. I do not own rights to that, only to what I am speaking of today. A lot of things have come up since my last live. We have a lot of updates for Elijah Hadley. I don't know if any of you were able to see the video of the commissioners meeting in Alamogordo. If somebody could let me know the lady's name who is leading the meeting, I would like to know. I don't really care to go back and listen to her, to the video. It's really, it's just upsetting. If you go to my page, to Elijah's page, you will see the video of the commissioners meeting. You can fast forward the video because, they're hearing everybody, the public's disagreements, their, issues that they have before the council. But during this commissioners meeting in Alamogordo, a gentleman named Spencer Bond gets up at 1 hour and 42 minutes in. If you fast forward the video to 1 hour 42, Mr. Bond gets up and speaks on behalf of Elijah Hadley and his family. He speaks of the murder, the injustice that was done by the Otero Sheriff's deputy. His speech is just kind of ignored. It wasn't really anything that they paid attention to, that they gave too much thought to. After the meeting, Mr. Bond had left with the two ladies that were with him. And let me tell you, these people that are in the commissioners meeting representing Elijah Hadley, they are not Mescalero Apache. They are not family. These are just people fighting for justice for our baby. They have been at the sheriff's office every day, every evening, sometimes all day. They've gone to the commissioners' meetings. They've made shirts for their protests that they do. All peaceful. But during the meeting, the lady leading the meeting, all of them just kind of ignored them. It wasn't anything that they cared to hear. Towards the end of the video, if you fast forward it to the end, maybe 5-10 minutes to the end, the lady talks about how she will not be backing down. She feels it's important that we address mental health, the mental health of all the people that the police have to deal with. And she did not say specifically that she is talking about Elijah Hadley, but she did discuss him immediately after making these comments. She also commented that she stands by and supports the police, the deputies. She feels it's important they all do the same. What else did she say? She will not be joining the protests. That is what she followed her comments immediately with, is that she will not be joining any protest this coming Saturday. So that's what makes me feel that she is calling the murder by the Otero Sheriff's deputy justifiable. Maybe she's trying to claim that Elijah had a mental illness issue. There was no mental illness issue. The deputy has training to deal with everything that took place that morning, that evening, 11 something at night. The deputy didn't use any training. None. No de-escalation. No nothing. Just shot. Just the first thing. Just started shooting. Nothing. There's no justification for what the officer did to our baby, to the Hadley baby, to the Hadley family. August 17th at 5 o'clock. Hold on, I don't want to tell you all. 5:30 at the fairgrounds in Alamogordo. There'll be another protest, a march. You also have Mimi Folsom down there. I believe she's been down there every day as well. Join in any way you can. Make signs, drop them off, take water. There's also a GoFundMe. I believe the tribe put up a GoFundMe for Elijah Hadley's family. That link is also shared. The link is shared on Elijah Hadley's page. So please go to his page. I try to share everything from his page, from other people's pages that they share, memories, anything. I try to share for Elijah. You have to be his voice. You cannot be quiet. You cannot let this go. That's what they want us to do. They want us to just let it simmer down, and pretty soon they'll be quiet. They'll leave it alone. We're not going to do that. We have to fight. We have to be his voice. We have to be the voice for the family, screaming in our peaceful protests, if you will. The numbers are screaming. You know, if there are numbers, all of the people that show up, that is screaming to the Otero commissioners, to the sheriffs, to the district attorney, to bring justice to the Hadley family. Don't be silent. Our world does not need to be silent in any way. We need justice in so many ways. So many ways. Let's see. Please make sure that you can try and attend, donate, participate in any way, share the content. There's a petition going around to have Sheriff Black and the deputy that murdered Elijah Hadley to be removed. I've shared that petition. Elijah's page has the petition. Please go sign the petition. Be his voice, y'all. Speaking of being a voice, I need you all to be your own voice. I need the Mescalero people to be their own voice. Even Ruidoso, Alto, Ruidoso Downs, anybody affected by the fires, by the tribal leaders' corruption. There's no other way to put it. By the tribal leaders' corruption. These fires are because of their corruption. That's fine. The South Fork is lightning or whatever you want to call it. But the salt fire is corruption made. Tribal leader corruption made. That is provable. FBI investigators that are here. I know everybody thinks, oh, it's just died down. It's kind of quiet. They're still going. You have tips, let them know. Call them in. Glenn and Allison couldn't be the only arsonists that the tribe was dealing with. Remember, since 2021, the tribe has had arson. Maybe even before then. I could be wrong. It could be before then. But the tribe has had fires after fire after fire. 200 back in 2000 by Tyner and them. Over 200 fires, and 2 individuals went to jail for those 200 fires. We can't let that happen again. Y'all need to fight for justice. The Mescalero tribe will have election coming up, and I'm told that we have, I don't know who's all rerunning, But I am told that Marilee, what is her name? Myraleen Blaylock, aka Garalee. Man, it's so confusing with all these Marilee. Anyway, we'll be running again. Be your own voice, you all. Speak up. Don't be afraid. You all have lost everything. You all are sitting there waiting for handouts from a program to give you dividend for your kids. Not the tribe, a federal program under the tribe. I can't tell you how we're just going from program to program, pulling money from anywhere we can to get by. So when you're standing there at these campaign booths and you have these council members that are sitting right now and they're sitting there before you asking for your vote again, you really got to think about this. Can I really complain if I'm going to sit here and listen to these lies again? Garalee Blaylock, ask her how many terms she has served. Ask her if she understands any of the tribal codes, the Constitution. I guarantee you she does not. Ask her the removal code. Garalee is the person who started the illegal banishments. Remember, she began banishing people she was jealous of. And yes, Garalee was very jealous, intimidated by Tree Escalante. Had her banished from the tribe within 30 minutes for fornication while committing adultery. I don't understand. And then had her panties in a wad when I started bringing up all of her crimes against tribal code while she was committing illegal banishments for laws she was just making up. So you got to think about that. These council members have just been running around just full of power, doing whatever they want because their hearts are embarrassed, their dignity, their pride. People know about their nasty ways and they don't like it. So we have to violate the tribal laws to help my pride. Garalee is one of them who started that. So keep that in mind. Garalee has talked about being transparent. Where is it? Where's the transparency? I read a post the other day on the Mescalero page talking about the hunts. You know, they really got into a big old discussion over the guide training. One, who will be doing the guide training? Because if you have Lauren Gallarito training tribal members how to guide, y'all need to remove him immediately, tribal members. Remember, tribal members, you are the boss. You are the voting power. You need to understand that. I've had a lot of questions about removal and all this. We'll get into that. But you are the voting power. You are the boss. Lauren Gallarito is a child molester. That is a fact. He can come file on me through the Ruidoso courts, whatever, the state court. Because I say this on Facebook, it crosses state lines, jurisdictions, which gives him the right to file on me for slander, libel, defamation, those kind of things. You know, when I say he molested a child under the age of 13, I mean he molested a child under the age of 13. Melissa Chavez has aided him in that child molestation in every way. That's because she lived with that. She's married to that. Y'all have questions about that? We can do a whole nother show regarding that, I guess. But anyway, Lauren Gallarito should not be teaching anybody how to be a guide at all. Do you all understand that Lauren Gallarito was the tribal administrator for Gabe Aguilar? While the tribal administrator, He was fornicating at the daycare. He molested a child under the age of 13. When his term came due for tribal administrator, they put him at the inn, giving him access to everything. When Lauren was married to his wife, his ex-wife, he beat her so bad that the inn had to put locks everywhere throughout IMG to ensure that nobody who wasn't employed with IMG could get to the back of the house anymore, so that no more pregnant women would get beat by their husbands. But this is the punk nothing that is running our hunting lodge right now. Ask Gary about that. How they continue to allow Lauren to run around and destroy the hunting program. Also, ask them about the bulls. You know, there was a lot of discussion about they should just let us hunt this and this. There's overpopulating. I think it was Dana and Jody who said the horses are overpopulating the area, but our bulls are down. Our numbers are down. We're supposed to let them repopulate. I don't think Gary can explain that to you, since it was under her that happened. Her and her alleged adulterous lover, Herman Sines. That's another question. You all have to understand, you know, under Gary, all of these people, we implemented changes to our laws. Adultery being one of them. Gary, these laws apply to you. You are council. I'm pretty sure you're one of the 5 that voted to change these laws, to put them in place. It was March, I believe March 5th. Oh, I'm sorry, March 10th, 2021. You all changed laws, implemented harsher laws. Did you have any punishment for your adultery, Gary? Or you're just going to continue to stand before the Mescalero people after telling them you have no money for them and you want their vote again? But this time you're going to be transparent. This time we're going to show you where the money went, where it is. I don't know how you can save yourself. You all belong in jail, not on an election ballot. That mobile patrol, that's where we should be seeing your name. Chaparral, a federal holding facility, that's where you all belong. Every one of you council members, you all have violated your oath, the words you promised. Nelva Cervantes. Think about that, y'all. Let me see. I just don't understand, Gary, how you're going to run again. Keep that in mind, Gary, and them get 300 to 500. Y'all need to get that information. They need to tell you how much they make per meeting, because you all aren't getting anything and they get paid every meeting while telling you nothing about these meetings. I heard Gutierrez and Nash are embezzling the Apache program at the school. School is broke, school board knows, but make $200 a meeting. I have heard the same thing. We have the Herrera busing, who also is milking the contract. We have so many non-tribals that are just taking advantage. Can you imagine if we put some of this money in tribal members? If we gave tribal members that opportunity to have their own bus barn, their own program for their tribal members? We allowed Kenny Blazer to have a bus barn and provide transportation for the Mescalero Apache children that he claims to be part of. He and his murdering niece, Jolene Blazer, embezzled $850,000. I could be wrong. Nothing was done to them. Nothing was done to them. Kenny Blazer, this non-tribal member, and Kenny Blazer, you're not tribal member. You are not a Mescalero Apache tribal member, Kenny Blazer. And if you are, you need to prove it. You as well can file on me in a court here in Ruidoso, in a federal court, whatever you know, look into it. It takes money, but you can do it. You can do it. You have Mescalero Apache money. They embezzled that money and we did nothing to them. We even bought out their contract to save them. We now have Herrera Busing, who we overpay. The Gutierrez and Nash, they have no business at our school. I complain all the time about Herman Signs. You know, we fight to keep Herman Signs on. He's a drunk. He has no education. He's nasty as can be. I don't understand why we keep him. There are so many others that could, you know, take his place. But anyway, why don't we fight for his wife? She has education. She could be the superintendent. Don't we have other tribal members who could be a superintendent? Berdine Largo, wasn't Berdine Largo a superintendent at one time? Rosalinda Baeza? And if I'm saying them wrong, please excuse me, but Miss Baeza. There's so many other options than these non-tribals ripping off Mescalero Apache tribe. You all got to find out where your money is going. This is where your money goes. This is where your money goes. Do you know that when you all had Rodney Pena, the drug dealer, as a school board member, remember y'all, he's non-tribal. Rodney Pena is non-tribal. He wasn't double dipping. He was triple dipping. Triple. He had his regular job, his school board job as the school board president. How? It states clearly in our policies. He wasn't to be a school board member. I don't even know how he's allowed on school board, being that he's one of our biggest drug dealers. I'm telling you, when you sit in Gabe's church, when you sit there by his side and support his corruption, you're paid well. FBI is offering $10,000 for the tips for their arson, for the Mescalero arson. That's nothing. Gabe is the arson. I'm telling you, you go to their fake accounts, to their drug dealer accounts, Sheila Harris, Nacho Libre, all those fake accounts. You'll find your arson. You will find your arson. Just imagine. Imagine our community's growth with new leadership. Leadership that wasn't worried about their own bank accounts, stealing tribal money to start their own business. Why is Nash, not being investigated with Gutierrez, with many write-ups, taking our tribe and children's money? Caroline is in it embezzling. That's pretty strong. That's strong to say. Caroline Blake, are you talking about the council member? But understand, we have a lot of people that have embezzled from us and we do nothing to them. We suspend them for investigation sometimes. We bring them right back and give them back pay, even a raise sometimes. Caroline Blake you've really stayed quiet. And now the Silence is catching up with you. You weren't voted in to be silent, Miss Blake. You all, every one of you council members was voted in because you promised opposite of that. You promised to speak to your people, to tell them what you talk about in the meetings you are so well paid for. Never have you did that. After years, after your whole run, your whole reign as a council member, you finally came and had a general meeting. Thora talked big running for council, and man, she put herself in there big. She really jumped right in head first. She was all in it for that money. A lot of people say she needed a home. She needs a house. Every council member that needs a home gets a home built. Danny Bruinger, go look into his funding. See how he built a home during the carbon credit. Butch Blazer, go look into his account. Remember, Butch Blazer is sitting here as a non-tribal member, telling tribal members that they can't be enrolled because they're not enough. In their pinky toe, they hold more blood than Butch Blazer could even dream of. That is a fact. You all need to understand that. Wake up. Be a voice. Be your own voice. Fight for your tribe. Fight for your sovereignty. Literally fight for your sovereignty. Let me see. Who else is running? Let me see. I talk about the embezzlement, all the embezzlement that has taken place. You know, our council has never held anybody accountable for the thousands, 100,000, millions that they take. It's never prosecuted, termination, nothing for these people. It has caught up with us. It has taken all of our money. Now they're telling us we have no money for you. But the embezzlers, you know, they're taken care of. They really are. Nash received $1 million in grant and split it with Gutierrez School Board. Y'all can call the OIG. There's a complaint hotline, 1-800-447-8477. There's an alleged fraud hotline, 1-800-424-5197. And just to talk to them and see what they offer, there's 703-248-2100. And I'll put these up when my live is done because it's important that everybody call. All of you tribal members call and ask, where's your money? Did you see what they gave our children for breakfast the other day, the first day of school? Ask your kids what they had for breakfast. I wonder what their lunch was. Breakfast was a bowl of cereal and it looked like melted green jello. I don't know what else that could have been. Jacob, take your big beret up there and eating up there with those kids. See what they're eating. Every one of you, Council Perny, all of you, you all are eating well, and our kids are starving. To stay a manager of the program at the school. And which one of them was having an affair on his wife? I believe she's the superintendent or the principal, and he was having an affair there on school property. On school property, committing adultery. As a non-tribal, he should be banished from the res. You don't have council to look out for people like that. They just banish people that speak up and question them, violate people's rights. That's exactly what they do. But both Nash and Gutierrez should be suspended, terminated, not suspended, terminated prosecuted and banished from the Mescalero reservation, both of them, along with Herrera. We need a new bus company. We can't have Blazer back over here. Blazer owes us. Blazer should be working for the tribe for free. He goes crying around at the front desk, the front office for elderly assistance. You're not tribal member, Kenny Blazer. You're not tribal member. You're living on Donald Blake's land. Late Donald Blake's land is where you live. You should give that land back to the Mescalero Apache people. Give it back to the Blakes. Man, you Blazers are living it up on the Mescalero Apache tribe. That's why we don't got money. There's so many reasons the Mescalero people are being told, we have no help for you. We have no dividend. We're going to dig for money for the school. And they dug. They got the early childhood programs funding. Let's see. All right. I got off track. Pascal. I'm told that Pascal was going to run for school board or council. Now, Pascal, somebody tag Pascal and Jody because there's a lot. There's a lot. Caroline and Nash make millions off the school and split with Gutierrez. Mescalero Apache tribal members, you all need to have all of this investigated. If council members are involved with embezzlement, they need to be prosecuted just like everybody else. Like us voting members, they need to be prosecuted. Mescalero tribal members, you need to be your own voice. You need to speak up. You need to impeach your council. You need to remove Nelva. Nelva was not voted in by anybody. She was placed there by a white man. And then she was kept there by her first cousin. You all can remove Nelva at any time. Nobody voted for her. Keep that in mind. It's not hard to do. And an impeachment for the council, every one of them, from the president on down to the very last council member, that's long overdue. You all should have did that long time ago to save your funding. Talk to Gelda Tenorio. She can tell you how to remove your council, how to remove Nelva. Nobody put them there. Remember that. Nobody put Nelva there. She keeps herself there now. She keeps council paid well to keep her and her arson brother, Tyner. Tyner Cervantes is an arson, along with his wife, Cara Cervantes. Go look up Corey Lacrosse, the fake account. That's one of their arson accounts. That's a fact, FBI. Go look it up. Pascal and Jody, before you run for school board or council, you might want to apologize for your rant on Mr. Raynard. I don't know if you're aware of Mr. Raynard's background for the Mescalero students. It's not anything new. It's been for years now. For years, Pascal, Mr. Raynard has done a lot for our students. Nowhere in Mr. Raynard's past is there any question of embezzlement, but I believe in yours there is. Currently, I believe you are being questioned for $60,000, you and your father, for embezzlement, for the language program, for your... There's a lot. Let's get into Pascal's... Do you all have artifacts that were taken from the museum? That's your latest embezzlement, I believe. But did you take things from the museum? We were told that you have a lot of belongings that belong to the Mescalero Museum in your possession. We were told that Pascal was granted these belongings during his divorce and will not return them. Why won't you return them, Pascal? Pascal has a printer worth thousands. Not a little printer like, oh, let me go make a couple of copies for people to sign. No, a massive printer. Those great, huge, amazing pictures of our ancestors years ago, coming, just showing the building of the Mescalero people, our tribe, the creation of our tribe. Those are made on that printer, I believe. Drones worth thousands. Where are those, Pascal? Ask these questions when Pascal's up there asking for your vote, whether it's for school board or whether it's for council. Where's our money? And it's not Pascal's first time dealing with embezzlement issues. Remember, he embezzled from the tribal store, the language program, and now the museum. Why would you think it's okay to run? You all understand, you see the pattern. Our council gets away with it, so why not join in? It's a council full of corruption. Why not throw in another embezzler? Language program makes millions. Nash, Gutierrez, and Blake make millions and keep Pascal in. He does everything for Nash. $1 million program. A while back, Pascal made shirts for the victims of the Mescaleros, South Fork, and Salt Fires, donating half of the proceeds to victims, never specifying who they were donated to, and then explaining to another tribal member that the rest of the proceeds went to him because he has to make a living. Right after that, he went to Disneyland, Walt Disney World, somewhere. Ask about this. When Pascal's asking for your vote, when any of the council that is sitting there, any of the previous council, and they're asking for your vote, ask about this embezzlement. Why the embezzlement continues, why we continue to support it. There's no reason to. This is why we tell the Mescalero people we have nothing for them. We allowed the embezzlers to take it all. And now they just want to keep taking and be Eddie. Pascal, you're Eddie, to think that you can just come and run for something. I don't even know how you're going to run for school board. What was your rant for to Mr. Raynard? What was that for? What was the purpose of keeping the proceeds from the Redoso Mescalero strong shirts you sold when you're making millions? There is just absolutely no reason to have these continued council members, returning council members, with empty pockets, or I shouldn't say empty because Pascal's isn't empty. Garley's isn't empty. I guess big pockets, loose pockets. Rerun and rerun over and over again. Let's see. Pascal, when you have your booth, whether it's for school board or council, and this just blows my mind, okay? Because it doesn't matter if it's school board or council, you are representing the Mescalero people. Did you break up a marriage? Did you commit adultery? Julie Kettazini, did you commit adultery with Pascal? I'm just wondering. So when Pascal's asking for your vote, ask him because, let me see. what did I say, March 10th, 2021, by vote of 5 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 abstained, 2 absent. They revised Section 10, signed by President rapist Robert Gabe Aguilar and sister girl Ardina Orozco. In that revision, they made harsher penalties for adultery. Julie Kettazini, Pascal, 1091, Garilee Blaylock. How are you going to ask for votes again when you're violating your revised code? All right, let's see. The artifacts that are missing. I was told that Lillian Chavez is a big person for us in getting artifacts back. I was told that she was responsible for bringing back a lot of our artifacts from a college or somewhere, and bringing them back to the Mescalero people. Contact her. Get our artifacts back. Joey Padilla. Are you trying to get our artifacts back? Get somebody who will fight for them. Lil, go fight for them. Pascal, give the artifacts back. Before you run for school board or council, you need to give the stolen artifacts back to the tribal people, the Mescalero people. You need to explain the embezzlement that you are mentioned in again right now. Right now, you're being mentioned in embezzlement again. That's 4. That's a 4th mention for you. You have printers, drones. You make money off of the Mezcal Doso Strong shirts. You blew up on a teacher that does so much for our youth. So much for our youth. Caroline keeps him and Nash close for Million program, and our grandkids don't know more than 15 words. That is a fact. That is a fact. You have other cultures. I shared a video from a Hawaiian school. They only speak Hawaiian to their babies from pre-K, Head Start, daycare on up. Imagine if we spoke Apache the same way. We'd bring back our language. You know, you all have a meeting coming up. 15th at 10 o'clock, you have a language preservation meeting. It's open to everybody. Go. This meeting is important. You ask them. Caroline Blake, you should attend. You make sure you attend. You're being, you're being implemented here in millions. Mescalero people, be your voice. Be your voice. Gabe Aguilar. I don't know if you all have seen my recent shares. I shared a filing for M2B4 or some kind of LLC that he's part of. Gabe Aguilar is part owner with James Mountain. If you all aren't familiar with James Mountain, Google him. 2008, he was involved in a case for kidnapping of a household member, assault, rape. Charges were dismissed because prosecution didn't have enough evidence. That sounds like another Melissa Chavez prosecutor. But James Mountain is a rapist, just like Robert Aguilar, Gabe Aguilar, Mescalero councilman, council boy. James Mountain, Gabe Aguilar, Frizzell Jr., and a lady named Cassie Silviano Sanchez, are all in business together and part owner of Oso cannabis dispensaries, starting with their first store opening up in right across from the Pewaukee Reservation, right next to their gun store. Isn't that great? This took place a little over 2 years ago. I believe they opened up their store. They're now facing lawsuit. Their business is now facing a lawsuit. So the money that Gabe stole by emptying the Mescalero tribe's reserve, all of the money that Frizzell steals, was used to buy ownership in these businesses. Gun business. Frizzell is an expunged felon. With zero education, running our 5 entities. Who is Frizzell? He should be Frizzell Pena, Joe Pena, actually. But his father didn't belong to a Pena. So who are you, Mr. Frizzell? Your money went to a cannabis store while Gabe came right back down and sat with sister girl Ardina. You have to see the irony in Ardina sitting down and signing these laws. But anyway, implementing laws against marijuana. The same time he stole money from you all to open a cannabis store, he was implementing harsher laws for drugs, labeling marijuana as bad as methamphetamine. You know, the drug his first cousin Luke Sines brought to the tribe, Lorenzo Sines. That drug, they're trying to say marijuana is as bad as methamphetamine. Anyway, being that Ardina is a medicine lady, she signed this into law March 10th of 2021. I don't know if she celebrated with Gabe after he opened his cannabis store, or how it worked for the council, if they got a cut, if they knew, didn't know. But, an investigation would answer all that for you. But if you look in their revised codes that they put in place, go to the 10.10.9. They have marijuana in there. Your first offense, second offense, they have like real punishment for marijuana. It's an herb from the ground given to us by our Creator. Mother Earth provides it. Ardina should anyway, understand that we use plants. We harvest them during our ceremonies. We are herb practicing tribal people. I didn't understand that a tribal medicine woman would sign into law harsh punishments for marijuana, for a plant. Knowing her husband and so many of her family members rely on marijuana just as much as me, maybe more. Also, having, I thought it was important that you all hear Aguilar's words, his interview during COVID, because keep in mind, he signed these laws into place after this all happened. He talks about addiction and mental health. If he had any sense, he would have looked into all of that and understood that marijuana was the one herb that could help them with addiction, with the symptoms from addiction, with the symptoms from withdrawal. Marijuana can help with so many health issues, mental, physical, emotional. But the president at that time stole from the Mescalero people to go open a marijuana store while signing into law harsher punishments for marijuana. Manufacturing, possessing, distributing, transporting, something you have been known to do, Gabe Aguilar. There are people who are willing to testify that Gabe Aguilar has brought back tons of marijuana from his Oso dispensary during his little princesses parties and passed his product out to everybody. Keep that in mind. They're willing to testify. Let's see. But look up the laws that were put in place. Section 8. That was part of the revision of March 10th, 2010, Gabe and Ardina revision. Section 8 is sexual contact with a minor. That whole section is devoted to Lauren, and you can't get Melissa Chavez to touch him. Not in that way, anyway. 1091 is adultery. You have how many council members sitting there committing that, allowing that? Your MOD, you overpay at IMG, giving tribal money to an unqualified MOD or whatever you want to call Johnny Adams. 1091, he's in violation of that. He should be terminated. But we're over here paying him, and he's uneducated as well. Let's see. Embezzlement, extortion, and fraud. 1014.1, 1014.2, 1014.2, 4. All of those are also on your revised codes, Aguilar. And you're guilty of every single one of them. Every single one of them the Mescalero Council is guilty of. So, let's see. Y'all want to know where your money is? Do your investigation on the council. Whatever happened to Njadi starting fires, Denver-wise? We would all like to know. The Mescalero leadership, they don't say nothing. You have to understand that Tyner Cervantes for years has blamed the arson fires that the Mescalero people have been dealing with on myself and my husband. Never thinking, oh, could they prove where they were? Yes, at every single time. Every single time we have proof of our whereabouts. And these idiots never thought of that. Just so much for questioning our funds. But they had to pick 2 victims, and I believe Glenn and Allison were the perfect victims for them. And maybe they were involved, but they're not the only ones. You want to find the real arson? Mescalero people, they need to dig down into those fake accounts that Gabe and Tyner and Nelva and Robin, that all of them possess. They all control. They're their accounts. That is a fact. So we'd like to know what happened to the alleged arson. Where's the rest of them? Where's the justice for the Ruidoso people? To this day, every single day, just yesterday, the children, as if they didn't feel it enough by losing their home. I know they don't understand the full gravity of that, but losing a home, all of their belongings, Some of them maybe twice. Ruidoso needs justice for these fires. In Gabe's video that I had shared this morning, he talks about COVID. It's an interview during COVID, I guess. He talked about the people that we lost, how he attended as the tribal president during that time, every single funeral for the tribal members lost during COVID. Gabe, you all haven't even paid Mr. Kleinkohl for all of the funerals that he conducted for the Mescalero leaders. You all didn't do anything, if you even attended. I don't remember you all attending, especially you, Gabe. Bruce Kleinkohl took care of, I believe, is the one who took care of every funeral during COVID, put himself at risk, every funeral, burying our loved ones. Our tribe never compensated him to this day. They have not paid him for those services. Nothing. I have a theory that the BIA cut a deal with the Fed that if they ruled the fire that led to billions in damages and 2 deaths was lightning on the clear day, the BIA would turn over in Jodi for less destructive fires. You're almost exact. You're almost exact. Funding, a lot of funding would have been lost if these fires were arson. You know, if the South Fork fire was arson, you lose a lot of funding. Especially the tribal leaders, and they need it. They have nothing. Nothing. But you're right. You're right on it. They just handed over whoever they could. Tainer Cervantes is the arson. That is a fact. I don't care who says otherwise. FBI, you're dumb as heck if you believe otherwise. Your 10,000, you can shove that because I'm sure you're in there getting more. Our homelands mean more than that. If these were true tribal members, they would understand that, how important our homeland is to us. Our medicine that we get from our forest, from our land. The tribe has money, but they want more. The tribal leaders, yes. This is why there is zero transparency. How are they going to be transparent and steal the money? How? Let's see. Gabe talked about, what the heck? Coy Griffin. Coy Griffin came and he started an uproar with the Mescalero people, a whole rally against him. No, Coy Griffin came and he exposed Gabe's negligence to our tribal members who work hard, who have lost medical benefits, lost limbs because of his negligence. Gabe was suspended and it infuriated him. He came back and he suspended Coy Griffin, claiming he disrespected an elder. Never saying a Mescalero elder because she was not. A nice lady, but not a Mescalero elder. Not by blood. And there was never no disrespect. Not once. There's video to prove that. Gabe puts himself in a lot of slanderous and defamating positions many times. God bless you, girl. God bless you. I'm Ruidoso born and bred, and I hope this mess helps bring Mescalero and Ruidoso closer together. Me too. Me too. Mescalero members, you talk a lot about being attacked, being chased out. You have your leaders to thank for that. You truly do. Your tribal leaders have brought no justice to nobody. Not to nobody. They have brought destruction and death to their neighboring towns, and to this day have no justice for them. They just stand there with their hands out as usual. The Mescalero Council has brought so much shame to us. Once a great nation, now to a begging nation. Wake up, Mescalero. Wake up. In Gabe's video, he talks about addiction and mental health. To this day, you haven't addressed it. You haven't helped anybody. You continue to lift up your first cousins, Lorenzo and Luke, your best friend, Rodney, in every way. And they are the people who brought addiction, who brought meth. How do you not see that? When will you start helping the people they brought addiction to? When will you stop helping them and help your people? Not for the people, but for themselves. Leaders, yes. Gabe, you need to think about the words you say before you open your dumb mouth. You're talking about people having mental health issues during COVID. The whole video is a big lie. To this day, we have nothing from you all, no help. So when Gabe is standing there asking for your vote, along with Garley and Pascal and all of these previous council members that have done nothing, that have been involved in embezzlement, that have been proven to have committed adultery. And Garley, your actions, your attempts to shut me up illegally have proven your adulterous ways. You have proven them. Ronald Blaylock, I hope you're standing by Garley when she's asking for these votes, because the Mescalero people want to know how she gets away with 1091 against you repeatedly. Right now, the tribal court, you have judges. You have Pam, who was the acting chief judge. You have Mary Chino, who is the criminal judge with no high school diploma. Then you have Janice Moreno, who has a degree, I'm not sure what it's in, but has violated the Mescalero tribal codes, constitution, destroyed children's lives in every way possible. And these people sit at the tribal court continuously, and you all have to deal with them. Remember that when you're sitting there giving these people your votes. These sitting council members, now and previous, are the ones who have brought these judges and have kept them. These judges with no education or regard to your rights. These judges that will rip natural parents from their children without any thought of the long-term effects. Janice Moreno, you have no business in your position. None. Your husband is doing some great work in town in Ruidoso. You should go work with him and leave our kids alone. That would be the best thing for you to do. Janice is the only judge that the Mescalero Council has right now, not Glass Val. All the time, Tree. I get it from you all. From you, my mother, my father, Ivan, everybody. All of you all. But you all remember, Janice is the only judge right now. I don't know if they've renewed Pam, if they've renewed Mary, and they shouldn't. They shouldn't. You need judges that are qualified, educated. I know I was fussing with or complaining about Michelle Palmer a couple videos ago and her picking on these people saying things when she's intoxicated. Michelle, you get it together. You could be a great judge. Who else do we got out there that's educated to do this? Aaron Chinesco. Bring our tribal members home. I believe both of these people live in Albuquerque and work in Albuquerque. There's no jobs for them here. We don't hire our educated. We keep family, friends, uneducated and all. We keep them so that when we need our laws violated, they don't understand what they're doing. They just, okay. And that's literally what they're doing. And if they do understand it, that's why we keep them. Because they're willing to understand it and do it. Regardless of the consequences. Elderly wants to know how you all got a new van driver. Lola, is your brother the new van driver? They want to know how. And if the position was posted for every tribal member to apply, or was it just given to somebody else again? I'm just saying, you probably have a lot of people who would have applied that were qualified. The early childhood dividend, it said on the Mescalero page, for you to go fill it out. If you're in GED classes, you may qualify 0 to 3. Okay, so the GED says if you're enrolled in classes, you may qualify. How does 0 to 3 qualify? Another question. During the fires, during the inns shut down and everything during their South Fork fire, you had a young man who was employed and was told when the fires are done, the reopening will bring you back to work. This young man is supposed to go to college. They didn't take him. They didn't bring him back to work, nothing. They replaced him and told him they forgot about him. And then this young man also applied for the early childhood dividend. Was denied because he's not currently in college. How do you justify that? This is a young man going to college. Why would we not help him in every freaking way possible? We help all of our drug dealers in every way possible. This young man who's going to college was trying to earn money in so many ways, trying to get a job, trying to get any type of help, because college isn't cheap. And I know that a lot of you council and directors don't understand that with your zero education self. It's not cheap. Every one of you council tells these children, go to school, come back, we'll hire you. A few months ago, the felon Frizzell Jr. stood there in the IMG banquet room telling our students to go get an education and come back and he'll hire you. He himself has zero education and is a felon for drug distribution. Has no way to explain where every bit of the funds that the inn pulls in are going. This young man needed help. Explain to me how he did not get help. His father is a firefighter. For Mescalero, no, Mescalero don't want firefighters. We do not want firefighters here on the res. Why would we want protection here? No, this young man's father has to work, I believe 8-10 hours away, for a whole nother nation. And he's not the only one. We have so many men and women that take their skills to other tribes, to other communities, and only build, only get better, while we sit here with our same uneducated crooks. Same. We never fire them. I don't know, maybe we're afraid to hurt their feelings. We don't want them to live like us. I don't know what y'all are afraid of, but hire our educated, help our children. When you say you're here for them, be there for them. Don't just say it for their vote. We have all of these men back on the 2018 carbon credit receipt. Danny Bruinger and Butch Blazer had claimed that they gave $1.5 million to hotshot program. We didn't have a hotshot program then, but we should have used that $1.5 million to build a hotshot program. We have enough hotshots, tribal member hotshots, just not Mescalero hotshots. What happened to the thinning projects? Thinning projects not only cleared up the wood from all of the dry debris, helping the fires to spread like crazy, but it gave jobs to people who love working those type of jobs. Our people are very quiet, don't like to talk, antisocial. A lot of them. And those jobs are perfect for them. Why would we not want to give them that opportunity? I'm really trying to stick to my notes here. Pascal. Here's Pascal again. Go to Seaside. The artifacts are in a storage. Miss Bradley, a couple questions. Someone who has a resolution against them from the Mescalero tribe, how did you get a low-income home at Seaside? That was a big question. With your pay and with your background with the tribe, how were you able to get a low-income trailer at Seaside? Question number 2. In your hoarding mess over there, we also have nuisance that was put in place during their 2020 resolutions. But anyway, over in your hoarding mess, I'm told you have our artifacts that belong at the Mescalero Museum, that you won't give them back to your ex-husband. Interesting. You're already working or living here with a resolution over you. And then you're going to go and withhold artifacts that belong to the Mescalero Museum? Just a question. These are questions that the people of Mescalero want to know. A while back, I was reading about Jeremy Dennis. I don't know if you all are familiar with Jeremy Dennis. Real laid back kind of person. Always, I guess I shouldn't say laid back, but a while back was involved in a fight with I believe a detention officer was incarcerated. I don't know for what. And I believe, and I could be wrong, he beat up a detention officer or a police officer or something, but he had gotten pretty severe charges for that and is serving quite a big sentence for that. Danica Kettazini. You all know how I feel about the failure Danica is. We have people that are murdered and she's just sitting there saying, oh, it's a suicide. So she can go back to her desk and sit there with her little mirror and do her little routine. I don't know. We have murders unsolved. We have drugs left and right coming in. We got an arson running around our tribe. So I really don't know what Danica's purpose is on the tribe. Maybe to aid in the corruption, aid with the arson. Anyway, Jeremy is facing huge charges for assaulting a federal officer. What about your son, Danica? Because I was told he is in Ignacio for his charges. I don't believe Ignacio is where we send our federal inmates. So what were his charges? Because if he were charged for assaulting a federal officer, he would be in a federal holding cell somewhere. I don't believe that's... I could be wrong. But I don't know if you all were aware, but Danica's son is involved in the same situation, screaming at the officer for his mother, threatening them with his mother. Keep in mind, Danica is another person that they fight to have contracted here in Mescalero. Danica is the person who is responsible for catching the arson when they first started. With all of your capabilities, the ability to stop the arson then, and you didn't, Danica, why do we keep you? If you are allowing all of these tribal members to be murdered, why do we keep you? If you are not fighting for proper investigations, fighting for justice first, why do we keep you? A couple questions people want to know, it's still a question, where's all the money? Where's all the money? So here's some more. How much have we lost to embezzlement? Throughout all of these years, all of the people that you have caught embezzling and have done nothing to them, how much is that? Because that all comes back to the Mescalero people. And now the Mescalero people have no money. But we allowed all these people to embezzle and we didn't do anything to them. So that needs to be calculated. How much have we wasted to embezzlement? And these people that have embezzled from us, do they still collect dividends when we get one? Are they still collecting tribal pay? Are they directors? Do they have a tribal work vehicle? Did they ever serve any time? No, that's already a no. Do they have a tribal vehicle? Probably yes. Your Veterans Park, you all are very proud of your Veterans Park. How much did that cost the Mescalero people? Because they're really having a hard time understanding your Veterans Park and what it will do for your Mescalero people, especially your veterans. What does the Veterans Park do for the veterans? Because you all don't do anything for the veterans. You don't help them. So how much did the Veterans Park cost the Mescalero people? Because, that took from their dividend fund. Oh, let's see. Ariel. You all allowed Ariel Arteaga to go and play Indian Princess up at Gathering of Nations. How much money was given to her from the Mescalero tribe to go represent us and lie? And if she is enrolled, Mescalero people, you need to ask how. You need to ask how, because there's no way at all that she's enrolled. Gabe's children can't be enrolled. Gabe is barely enrolled. So how would we enroll Elena's daughter? How much did we give her to go play Pretendian at Gathering of Nations? Because there's a bunch of waste of money. Leo La Paz. We have John Montoya here. Why do we have Leland Pellman and Leo La Paz if we have John Montoya? What are their jobs, each of them? How much does it cost the tribe to put Leo up at the inn in a room? All of this matters, you all, because it all adds up. It all adds up. We're just forking out money for all these unnecessary people without any justification for them. Danny Bruinger's house. How much did that home cost, and where did he get the money from? That needs to be looked into, because we have no money and he has a nice home. Butch, the same with Butch Blazer. Investigate their accounts during the carbon credit. We're missing millions from that. I believe last year we were running on the fiscal year from the year before. You all need to sit down and show us all these numbers, how we got so far behind. How did we save the conservation office? Because it was just about 6 months ago that Tyner's office was broke. They cut hours. They were trying to find funds for gas for them to patrol. I'm sure we kept Tyner's pay, but his mismanagement, how did we cover that? The sawmill, how much money do we waste on the sawmill? The insurance, the security for both Alamo and the one right here on the reservation line. Any incidents that take place, have we been sued for any of them? The property in Ruidoso and any other property off the reservation, what do we pay for them and why do we have them? What is the purpose and how does that help the Mescalero people? Y'all got to start asking these questions, people. Be your voice. Our ancestors were not quiet people. The Mescalero Apache people were fierce. Read about us. We were fierce people. Why would you not want to be fierce? Your 100-year celebration that you all had a while back, how much was spent on that? Because you honored Arthur Butch Blazer. Again, you honored a white man. You did not honor any Mescalero tribal elders. How much money was wasted to honor a white man who has done so wrong to the Mescalero people? And yes, Arthur Butch Blazer has done wrong. His brother has done wrong. His daughter has done wrong. His son has done wrong. So how much money was wasted to honor a white man who has committed so many crimes on our tribe, as well as his children. His daughter committed murder, given sovereign immunity with zero blood. That's what you all need to be looking into. Dorland's home. How much did Dorland's home cost? And how much did IHS lose under Dorland? Where did the money that was lost go? Y'all need to look at that because we don't have an IHS. A while back, y'all had a Indian Affairs down here looking at the Head Start, IHS, your Elderly Center, a couple of the other places, I believe, to bring funding for us. Did you all tell them we've already had funding? That you all have failed to do anything for your people with the funding? She was at the general meeting with her mom and grandma, bulldodging everyone. You're going to have to remind me who, because I feel like I've talked about a lot of people. Let's see now. But ask about that. Ask for Dorland's account. How did she build a home? How did Kingpin drug lord Luke build her a home? Blackjack. You have blackjack dealer classes at the inn right now. Tribal members, go take the classes. You know, I've told council for years you need to go to these departments and look into every department. Talk to the back of the house. Talk to the actual workers, the people who are keeping the inn running, not these overpaid, nasty, drunk directors, but the actual workers. Y'all got Amber Luna. What do you spend on Amber Luna? To this very day, she continues to fire tribal members without any justification. Just that she don't like them. She's not getting along with them. Maybe they didn't want to buy her pills. Maybe they were flirting with Alan in front of her for Zell. Who knows? But what do we spend on Amber Luna? Gabe's niece playing princess. You know we spent a lot of money on his niece playing princess up there at gatherings. I think that's it. I've been sharing a lot of the information from Ruidoso regarding the flooding, the fires. Right now, school is back in session. Yesterday for Ruidoso, they already had a early release because of the flooding. A lot of parents, some liked it, some didn't. I personally, I'm all for it. I really don't care what I'm doing. I will go get my baby. It doesn't matter. They don't need to sit at school. If I know a flood is coming, I'm going to be there before the flood if I can. But I truly believe that how the Ruidoso school is handling this, how the Ruidoso people are handling all of this, the children, is amazing. Amazing. I don't think the Mescalero leaders, the FBI, Grisham, Patricia Matigli, whoever, have any idea of the devastation that these fires have brought, the true effects of these fires. They're not over. The fires are not contained. We're dealing with them every day. every day, every time it rains, every time you see the clouds coming in. Once praying for rain, and now we pray that the rain be merciful. Have mercy on us. We've already lost so much. With that, Redoso, be your own voice. Continue to push for the investigation. Mayor, the sheriff, you all need to fight for that investigation. It is clear that Mescalero has too much support, I feel like, with this investigation to help get them out of their fires. There is just absolutely no way that you can say that after a proper investigation that the Mescalero leaders, Tyner, that they had nothing to do with these fires. There's no way you could say that. None. If you did a proper investigation. Redoso, push. Do not stop pushing. I was told that Patricia Matiglia, or however you say her name, is pretty upset that Redoso is fighting for another investigation. She does not want Mescalero to be implemented as the cause of the fires, or their people, or any of their leadership. There's just too many top heads, I feel, that are benefiting from the tribe just sitting on this investigation. Throwing out Glenn and Allison to calm you all. Don't buy it. Throw Glenn and Allison back and tell them you want the real arson. You want the real arsonists. You want justice for the murders, for the destruction. There's no price for the emotional damage. There is no price. Talk to your little ones. It doesn't matter the grade. Explain to them the flooding situation, fires. Talk to your kids about right and wrong. Right is right and wrong is wrong, regardless. It's just got to be that way. We've allowed so much wrong. Look at where we've gotten. Mescalero has nothing. Nothing. We don't help our people in any way. We don't help our children, our elders, our handicap. Nothing. We help our council. And in return, our council helps our drug dealers, our failing directors. But not us. They violate our rights. They take our children. They put us in jail. Anything to hurt us, but nothing to help us. Elena is President Villa's daughter, who runs the Mescalero tribe Facebook. And Luann is the payroll clerk. I heard Gina is turning this around for her niece not to get hard time. Gina is Gabe's puppet. Gina's adoptive brother, Alan Sunderman, has been mentioned in the fires. Has been mentioned as being seen running from a fire. Alan Sunderman does not work, but collects a 80-hour paycheck every 2 weeks. Alan Sunderman was given $60,000 last year to help him catch up on his trailer debt. And now Alan Sunderman is named as one of the arson. It needs to be investigated without any of the tribal leaders' input. FBI, you need to understand that. The tribal leaders are the arson. So when you're sitting there with Tyner, Nelva, Gabe, Perny, all of them, you're sitting with the arson. Access their fake accounts, their drug dealing, their arson accounts. If you need help with warrants justifying your accessing these accounts, let me know. Let me know. I have more than enough proof for you to get a warrant. The threats that these accounts have made to me, my children, my parents, my husband's parents, I have more than enough proof to get a bench warrant for you all. That is, if you all are really investigating it, because at this point, it doesn't seem that you all are. You all remember that during this coming election, and any of you that hear anybody else that is running, let me know. Let's look into their background. Let's see what they've done for us. Let's see if they have a reason to be running. Maybe they need a home. Maybe they're putting a kid in college. Maybe they're paying a debt or fulfilling a dream. We're literally paying for Frizzell and Gabe's dream. And they failed. They stole tribal money to fulfill their dream, and they failed. Now owing over $240,000 for their failed business. Remember, y'all, my show is called Prove Me Wrong. Everything I say is an allegation unless I say fact. But these things I say, like I said, it is on Facebook, which crosses state lines, crosses every line, giving them the ability to file on me in a real court, put me behind bars, and finally shut me up, because we all know they've been trying for years to shut me up unsuccessfully. I started my whole Prove Me Wrong because of their changes to our laws, implementations, the harshness for marijuana. Yes, I remember asking specifically how they could do that. And it went from there. The questions only grew. What I thought I was starting as a simple marijuana blew up. It turned into a fight for Tree Escalante and her babies, a fight for Angelique and Antoinette Hernandez. It turned into a fight for myself, a fight for my Mescalero people. Fight. There's no reason not to. You all silence and complicity with these crooks, these uneducated, non-transparent counsel, it's gotten you all to hear you have nothing. They're taking programs from you instead of bringing them in. Dwayne talked about it. Bish, Robert Rice talked about it. Wraparound services. He said, we're going to bring them in. When? If you're going to use my words, be able to explain them, Bish. Talk about what that consists of, because you haven't brought it. We don't have no services for our kids in school. We don't have services for our kids in the justice system. Nothing. Nothing. We have no homes, jobs, money, health care, fire prevention. Man, nothing. Nothing. Remember this Saturday, you all, 5:30 at the Otero Fairgrounds, there will be a peaceful march for Elijah Hadley. Remember, there is a GoFundMe for the Hadley family. Understand that a GoFundMe would help the family get a lawyer to fight, to put the murdering deputy behind bars. SO 42, I believe, is the deputy's badge. I could be wrong. I'd have to look up on my notes, but they deserve justice. Share their content for me. If I share something, please share it. Share their content. Do not be quiet. Scream. Be a voice for Elijah Hadley. If you cannot be there on Saturday, make a sign maybe. Donate water. Anything helps. Anything. We cannot be silent. Sign the petition to have Sheriff Black step down as well as his murdering deputy. Maybe we need to ask at the commissioner. She didn't feel in any way that the murder was wrong. She supports her officer. Share my contact. Mescalero people. Be a voice. Be your voice. Remember, Nelva wasn't elected. She was placed there. You don't have to vote her out or petition her out. You just want her removed, and it just takes 3 of you. You want to write 3 letters, remove her. Council, impeach them. Impeach them. Bring in investigations to find our money. Redoso, be a voice. Fight for that investigation. Hold the Mescalero tribal leaders accountable. They do not understand the devastation that any of us are dealing with, all the way down to our babies. Fight. Share my content. There'll be a lot more to come regarding Aguilar and his cannabis company and his gun company bought with the Mescalero people's money. Investigation, y'all. Have a great, great night. Share my content. Share my content with the council, with the drug dealers. They all need to see it. Get loud. Don't be afraid. Be a voice for your tribe before you lose it. Stop the corruption now.